And welcome. This is Your City in Action here on Salina Community Access TV. I'm your host, Todd Pittenger, from the Rockingham Media group of radio stations here in Salina, most notably News Radio 1150 KSAL, where I'm the news director there, and also the host here of Your City in Action on Community Access TV. Another great show lined up today. A couple of special guests, a couple of guys from Salina Parks and Recreation. I think I've got the director of Salina Parks and Recreation, Chris Cotton.
Yes, sir.
And do I have this right? Recreation Supervisor, am I right?
Recreation Superintendent.
Recreation Superintendent. I was close,
That's okay.
but Travis Sheely. Guys, first of all, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
And I think we're going to talk all things Fieldhouse. Salina Downtown Fieldhouse is open. I had Chris on the show here a couple of months ago.
Yep.
And at that time, it was 75%-ish done. It's open now, right? Tell me about the Fieldhouse and its opening.
We still have a few, we want to call them bugs, Travis?
Yeah.
A few
Construction
bugs.
bugs.
Few
You're still
construction bugs
tweaking
we're
it a
still
little
working
bit?
out,
Sure.
but we have had a couple events there. Travis doing a great job bringing things online, booking tournaments, getting the public in there. So I'd say we're about 95% where we want to be, and things are moving along.
Tell me, what are some of the things that are going to happen there? Already we had the Jeff Hawkins KU basketball camp. We had a big basketball tournament there. And at the time, I know some of the Parks and Recreation activities, adult volleyball, basketball, that sort of thing that were going on at various venues around town were all going to move over to the downtown Fieldhouse. Has that happened?
It is, and I'll let Travis talk about that.
okay.
He's working hard. He's has some new leagues getting ready to start. He's excited to talk about them, and we'll let Travis talk about that a little bit.
It opened late July. I see a lot of activity there, it looks like to me. You've got a lot of things going on there already, right?
We do. We're just getting our fall started, and so we've got our adult volleyball going. Those numbers continue to go up. I probably credit the Fieldhouse to it,
Right.
the space. I wanted to tackle a few new events, and the first one was youth volleyball and a team volleyball concept.
Right.
And we had 12 teams to start out
Oh,
with.
very
I couldn't
nice.
be happier with that. And then we were offering youth team basketball. We already do have a basketball tournament, or excuse me, league,
Right.
but we're having that come on board as well. So very excited.
Down the line, are there any other big events lined up? I know, like we mentioned, there was the Jeff Hawkins KU basketball camp. We had the big MAYB tournament. Anything like that on the horizon?
I got a few things in
yeah,
my holster
right.
a little bit, but I can tell you.
Nothing that you've signed on the dotted line yet.
Right. No, we have.
Right.
And before I came over here, I counted 11 tournaments.
Oh,
already.
wow.
So, but that's reaching out to next spring.
Sure.
But we knew it would start out a little slow, but
Right.
I'm overwhelmed. I can
Right.
tell you that right now with our tournaments, our existing leagues,
Right.
new leagues. It's starting to hop.
Tell me a little bit about the facility itself. I've went and toured it a couple of times now. Travis gave me a tour. Beautiful facility. It's more than, you can do more than just play volleyball and basketball there, right?
Right. So the facility also will be the only facility within what Lawrence will probably be the closest place that has indoor turf.
Right.
So we'll have the ability to have indoor turf, so we can play full 7-on-7 adult soccer going east to west, or we can play several kids games, soccer on the turf going north to south. The facility, the netting in the north gym is completely compatible to come down in multiple different setups, so we can have indoor golf driving lessons, softball, pitching, you name it, on the turf. There's just about everything we can do. We also have the only facility in the region that has regulation futsal lines drawn on the courts for different form of indoor soccer.
Again, this is Your City in Action here on Salina Community Access TV. Todd Pittenger, joined by Chris Cotton, Travis Sheely from Salina Parks and Recreation. Tell me about, there's been a lot of activity there. This was supposed to be the center of downtown that spurs more action in downtown Salina, more building in downtown Salina. Are you seeing that yet?
I think we will. I'm not too involved with that
Right.
piece, I guess, but from what I hear, a bowling or fun center
Right.
to a hotel to a lot of businesses being booming, and they just keep telling me that this is the anchor,
Right,
of the
absolutely.
facility, and to see it up in action, I think those people are excited.
Well, all these events you have planned, all these people are going to be downtown. They're going to have kids downtown. While their kids are playing, they'll be watching. That being said, when their kids aren't playing, they got to have something to do downtown, right?
Sure. And speaking of watching, one of the unique pieces of our facility, I think there's several, but one of them, I saw a couple. I don't think they ever entered the gym. the whole tournament.
I love that. I love it.
And
yes.
they sat out in the lobby and watched it live.
You've got
on the
TVs, you've got
monitors.
cameras in each of the gyms, and you can just sit out in the lobby and watch what's going on in each gym.
They
right?
drink their coffee.
That's absolutely fabulous, and I think it really helps also when you've got teams, one team ready to go on in the court and play. Instead of going on there and sitting on the sideline and waiting, they can sit out there in your huge, spacious lobby, watch it on TV, wait till it's done, see the other team getting ready to leave, and they can go in. That probably makes...
Yeah, that's exactly what happened with the MAYB tournament, and we had enough space. I was monitoring that, and it was a huge asset to the facility.
All right, we've talked about everything good about it. You've got it open, things are going. What do you need to tweak? What do you need to maybe change a little bit? It can't all be perfect.
Sure. We're learning our systems,
Right.
and getting those fully operational. Just learning the space that we have, and I'm putting pencil to it right now. How can we operate all those activities that people express interest to me? Our current leagues, new ideas, or new leagues that we want, and putting that whole puzzle together. And I really enjoy that.
Yeah.
But I'm currently doing that right now and figuring all the spacing out. When the turf is going to be down, when do we have to pull it up
Right.
for certain tournaments? Those are the things that I'm working out right now.
Again, this is Your City in Action here on Community Access TV. Todd Pittenger, Chris Cotton, Travis Shealy from Salina Parks and Recreation. We had something on the website when you first opened. There were a few people expressing concern about seating in there.
Okay.
They didn't think maybe there was going to be enough seats when there's tournaments going on. In my mind, I didn't think it would be an issue. Address that. Is seating an issue, or is there enough seating in there?
With the events we've had so far, it has not been.
right.
Transition.
And the TVs help too, right?
They did. Transition, I highly monitored that first tournament.
Right.
Do we have enough transition space and seating? I went in there and I took pictures, no more than 3/4 full the whole time.
Right.
But that could be an asset of the lobby too,
Yeah,
watching
right.
it on the
Because I've been to
TV.
plenty of these tournaments. I had kids growing up, and I know how it is. When you're getting ready to play, everybody kind of crowds in there. They're ready to go for the next game, so it can be an
Sure.
issue. I think the TVs are a great idea.
Sure, and then we have yet to have an event to have the whole facility up
Right.
and going. We have the one wing going, and I'll be monitoring it to see if we do have enough, and we may have to bring some more in.
What's the buzz? What's the feedback you get from the community so far, from the people that have been there and used it? Even like the Jeff Hawkins of the world, the guys like that go all around Canada, all around the Midwest, really, putting on things. What are their thoughts of it so far?
Dynamic. You know, it's
What's not to like at this point, right?
It's bright. It's unique. It flexes to whatever sport or event you want to do. That's the feedback that I'm getting from everybody. Really, you know, just uniqueness. They haven't seen anything like it.
All right,
which
Chris,
is good.
you said it's 99% done.
95.
95. I wish 99. Now, what do you have? I mean, to the naked eye, to me, it looks like it's done. Well, what are some of the things you still need to do?
The furthest south volleyball court, we need to go back and tweak a little bit. There were some, I'll call them design issues we had to go back and address. We are still don't have all the turf down yet. There's some transition pieces we're waiting on so we can get the turf all the way down. We still haven't painted the turf with all the soccer lines on it yet. So very minor things. You know, one of the things you were talking about with things that people were saying, I've had some people ask me, well, how come we don't have more furniture in the lobby?
Right.
Well, one of the reasons we don't is when we have a full event, that furniture will actually just get in the way of all the teams that are trying to camp out and
Sitting
get their
down,
little
stretching
area.
out a little bit, yeah.
So, but for the most part, like I said, 95%, I think that's about right, don't you,
Yeah.
Trev? And same things that Travis has been hearing, dynamic. A lot of people are expressing. I've yet to see somebody walk through the building and not go, wow.
Absolutely, yes. I would agree with that. And I've told people, you know what, if you have questions, if maybe you don't like what you see on the outside, go inside and look at it.
Sure.
It'll totally change your mind. The other issue that I had people express maybe some concerns about, at some point, I know I talked to you a little bit about this, Travis, at some point will there maybe be some open gym time where some people from the community can go in and use it a little bit?
First night was last night.
Oh, beautiful, there you go.
We set up some structured times for the adult drop-in.
Right.
They came in. It was predominantly basketball,
Sure.
but you know we had the turf down at the time, so they kick the soccer ball around and just do the various things that they can do. So we'll have some set up times
Right.
for that.
And let's, I mean, let's be straight, it was not designed for a facility like that. It was designed for
Correct.
tournaments and city league games and things like that. It wasn't designed as a place that was going to be open all the time for you to just drop in and shoot around or whatever.
That
But
is
you're
correct.
making it available at some time.
Correct, and we'll be developing those programs and time slots and getting that on our website at salinafieldhouse.com.
All right, guys, what else do we need to know about the field house? What didn't I ask and I should have asked?
I think, I think we talked about this last time you had me here. We talked a little about the concept of the field house.
Right.
And the overall plan to use that as an anchor to help jumpstart downtown redevelopment is actually genius. The limited parking at the field house is also genius because that forces people to park and walk.
Right.
So it forces them to park in downtown. And I think as things start to redevelop, I think as Travis gets things busier, I think people from the community, business owners, or people that want to be business owners, are going to start seeing the niches, and they're going to start infilling those vacant storefronts. I've had conversations with people. They're like, what do you think we need down here?
Right.
And I'll tell them, well, this is what we have now, but I'll give you an example. We don't have a sub sandwich shop downtown.
Right.
And so things like that, you're going to see those things start to come as we get busier, especially as it grows and it blows up and there's not a lot of time in between games. So right now, if you want to run and get something quick, really the hamburger spot is it.
All right, there's the Cozy Inn right down by the
Cozy
radio
Inn.
station.
And that's it. And now there's other restaurants, don't get me wrong, but they're more dine,
Right,
sit
correct.
down, take your time. And that's going to be hectic once we get in full operation.
Well, I've seen the plans for the motel or the hotel. I know that's coming here in the near future. I know we've got another restaurant. I know there's plans for the bowling alley. And I think once people see all of this activity, all of this stuff coming up and thriving, it's going to be a really good thing for downtown. And I'm kind of blessed in a selfish way. I love the field house because literally the radio station's 2 blocks from it. I can look out the window and see it. I saw it from the ground up be built. Now I'm watching right across the street from the radio station, the KU School of Medicine, which is right across the street from the field house. It's being built from ground up right now. It's really an exciting time to be in Salina and in downtown Salina, and I think the field house, they said it was going to jumpstart activity in downtown Salina. I think it really is.
It is.
I agree, absolutely.
Usually it takes about 3 to 4 years to fully develop these facilities, and I knew it would start out a little slow, and all I can tell you is I'm overwhelmed right now. It's going to be busier than I thought it was going to be, and it's only going to get better.
Now, Chris, you weren't on staff yet when the field house was just in the creative stage, right?
that is correct.
Travis was, though. Tell me about, you saw the original plans and you could sense the excitement. I think you maybe, if you were like me, you thought, you know what, that'll be cool, but I don't think that'll ever happen. Well, it has happened. It's got to be exciting for you, for a guy who actually works for the department. You saw the early plans, and now you see it come to life.
Sure. When everybody asks me, when did this project start for you? And I tell them 11 years ago.
right.
That was the first day of my job. Went into my office, hey, this is kind of cool, and showed me the indoor facility. They said, you're standing in it. So, and a long time, it's been, challenges along the way, but to go through the idea, the planning, the design, construction, and being there towards the end is very exciting, rewarding, experience.
Chris, this is a city project, but it's not a city project either. It's a city-private government. It's a cooperation. And you see that there's a name on the outside of it. Each of the courts have a name on it as well. This couldn't have come to fruition without the public's help too, correct?
I've opened other facilities that did not have private donors.
Right.
And so for this, and this is what I tell a lot of people that I meet with, not just the field house, but Dean Evans Stadium, the soccer complex, a lot of generous people in Salina.
The Tony's Pizza Event Center?
A lot of generous people that want to see things happen, and they understand that the city is on a budget per se. Doing Parks and Recreation, we're right in the middle of our master plan right now, and we're finding out a lot of things that we kind of already had a sense of, but this is just validating what we already knew. And it is very exciting that the citizens of Salina want to support facilities like this and help see things come when regular I'll say the regular city coffers couldn't afford to do it without taking away from substantial services from the citizens.
And right when you walk in the door, you can see who was influential, and their names are on the wall. And it's not just one or two. There is a whole huge list of people that made this happen. And to me, that's kind of the exciting thing also, because I don't think, if it were just strictly a city thing, I don't think it would be nearly as nice as it is.
I can tell you that if we just utilized funding that the city had available to
Right.
do the project.
Taxpaying dollars.
Taxpaying
Yes.
dollars. The facility would be probably half the size, maybe a little bit less. Wouldn't be near as spacious. And
We wouldn't have the TVs.
Yeah, we wouldn't have the TVs. We wouldn't be able to do near the things that we're planning on doing there.
Again, Your City in Action here on Salina Community Access TV. Todd Pittenger, Chris Cotton, Travis Sheely from Salina Parks and Recreation. All right, if anybody is interested, they want to find out a little more about this drop-in time, they want to maybe get signed up for one of your leagues, because you've got leagues going year-round in there. How do they go about doing that?
Well, they can visit our website at salinafieldhouse.com or our Parks and Recreation website. You can go to the City of Salina /Parks and Recreation, and we're developing it.
Right.
We're getting it going. It's we're learning as well, but as soon as we get something developed, we're posting it on there, radio,
Right.
to our regular brochure that we distribute throughout the.
I periodically see you up at the radio station on some of the shows.
I
so-
think I've been there a few
Yes.
times here lately. so.
Yes, you have. I would also guess that if somebody absolutely positively hasn't had a chance to get over there, if they reach out to you,
Sure.
you'd let them come in and look around and kind of get the overview?
Sure, I've had several people drop by. I'm usually there.
Right. You have an office there now, right?
The office is there.
You got the coolest office in town. You got
You
a
like
locker
that?
in your office. I love
I do
it.
that. I
Yes.
wanted to keep it sporty.
Yeah.
So, stop by. We're generally somebody's there, early morning to about 5 o'clock, and then we're open when we have activities going on in the evening.
All right, Chris Cotton, final question. Let's talk just briefly. We touched on the public-private partnership, the soccer field, another prime example. I go out and walk and run on the levee all the time. I go by there all the time. That looks busy all the time, too.
You know, it is. Recently, the Salina Soccer Club merged with Sporting Caw Valley, so it's an extension of Sporting Kansas City.
Right.
And of course, and my kids actually participated in that program as well. We are trying to revitalize the soccer complex. I know when I first got here, the numbers are down a little bit. So, Travis has done an excellent job with programming Burke and East Crawford, and I have a background in soccer, and so we're going to try to do the same thing to make the soccer complex as busy as Travis does some of the other things. I think you had, 109 teams at your last big softball event? So given our location, there's no reason we shouldn't have more what I call economic impact
Right.
events. It's just going to take a little bit more time to get soccer where we'd like it to get, but yes, it's getting busy again.
What's the next big thing at the downtown Fieldhouse?
Salina Fieldhouse. It'll get busy here starting later in the fall. We do have our leagues,
Right.
and then that's when I suspect the rentals will start
Right.
going up, and then I think it's November.
November? It'll be your
Maybe,
bus-
it might be December. I'm
Right,
sorry, I
right.
don't have a calendar in front of me, but December, and then there's not an open weekend.
I know.
after
I
that.
would
It's-
guess not, because there's
Between our
youth,
leagues and-
your
and
league and there's youth
tournaments.
tournaments going on all the time.
We're busy every single weekend. I think the first one was March that was open after that.
So, word to the wise, if you're looking at the downtown Salina Fieldhouse for an event, book early, right?
Book early, contact me, just call me there at the office, and I can see what I can do for you.
Travis Sheely, Chris Cotton, Salina Parks and Recreation. Thank you so much for joining us today. I want to have you guys back on in a few months down the
We'll
line.
do it.
Absolutely.
And we'll get another update on the progress of the Salina Fieldhouse, because it's only 95% done, you tell me.
Right, 95% done.
This has been Your City in Action here on Salina Community Access TV. Thank you for joining us.